going to play like Tony the Tiger and Friends in Kellogg's Land. Very much a tongue twister. This game was sold in German magazines when it comes to any kind of cereals or whatnot. They had it in game magazines you can purchase. Kind of hard to find, but here is how to find it. So we're going to start the game in just a minute, but I did it in prop 2 bit. I was going to do real quick. So I told you to bring your cereals. So I got my box of Frosted Flakes. I'm going to put my bowl. And then a bit of milk. And I spilled it everywhere because I am a klutz. And now every time I beat a level, I want you to take a bite because I haven't had breakfast yet. So now we can finally get started. So you're here to start, and 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Tony the Tiger, and he is A+, best character in the game. Very fast. He can jump over different enemies. If I can not call it fit, oh well. We're also going to use different items, but we'll be using them for a large portion of the game. So now, all right, level done. Bye. So this game is a collect-a-thon. As you can see, there's 158 pieces plus vitamins you have to pick up, and the levels just zig and zag, and it is not a good time. There is a 100% category if you wanted to go for it. No one has done it, but good luck to you. So we're just going to be jumping through a lot of these enemies and items. As I was getting practice in this game, there actually is very, very minor improvements you can do on this game as far as different paths, different options you can choose from. Unfortunately, a lot of these doors leads to absolutely nowhere. It's just a giant pit with items you pick up, and there's no progression whatsoever. So over here, grab this, and hit that one, and level's done. All right. It's now level 3, and it's going to be a little different here. They want you to go to different paths for you to get up to this upper area for the exit, but we're going to take this little shortcut. Gonna go up here, jump, miss it, get back up. Now, boom, end the level. That was not developer intended. So now, in this next level, we will be showing our second character off. As I fall to the floor. And memento. And right here. There's this key. Right here. And also in this game, there's multiple colored keys and multiple colored doors, but all the keys work for all the doors. So you can kind of grab one key and go to another area to use it. And so now we're going to grab onto Smacks the Frog, the absolute worst cereal and the worst character in the game. The only useful it is to go to underwater levels. That's it. He's very slow. He has no attack except underwater. He's not good. He doesn't even jump high. He just jumps mediocrely. So we use him as least as possible. So we go here and go back to Tony. And if I believe it right, I think this game was also released on the Amiga, which would have probably a better game to play for a Big Bad Game-a-thon, but I realized this is still after the fact that I started speedrunning this. So I'm gonna miss that jump. There are a lot of pits in this game. They expect kids to play this, which is asinine. Alright, just gonna zigzag here. Gonna grab this food through the floor, as is my right. This key. this is something I would expect to actually get in a cereal box. This one you had to like mail in something with money from a magazine to get. And it was only released in Germany, and that was uploaded online for people to get. And so now in the level. And since we got smacks, how many smacks did we make? And now we're going to a lot of vertical levels in this game. But there's one other power that I haven't mentioned that Tony has, as I missed that jump. As we're going pretty fast, I'm pretty sure those spikes you're not supposed to run through, but apparently you can. So yeah, Tony has this other power I haven't mentioned yet, because he can sometimes just jump through walls and go to the level. Yes, this game was programmed in a very strange way nonetheless. And here we have the next last level of the first section. If I will get this jump right. Yeah, this game does not intend you to do certain vertical levels in the way that I'm doing it, as you can probably tell. Run through the spikes again. I'm just gonna damage boost here if I can hit the spike. And I love spelling out the different letters and different words on there. Like that one said Kellogg's, and there was TP for teleport. So we're gonna follow through the level again. This game has a lot of pitfalls, unfortunately, as you can see. Me as #gamer is having a hard time with this, and the kids won't be able to do it. Here, grab this back up. Also, the game has a message for you. It says, "Wow." This one, and this the jump. And alright, end of the level. So now we're on to our first boss of the game. And as you saw on that screen, 504 collectibles. That included the items. It is a nightmare to do. So here, I'm actually going to be using my arrow keys. And I'm just going to bonk the boss here. So I'm using my arrow keys right now instead of my controller, because for some reason when I start using the controller, it will start bugging out the water, and I won't be able to actually swim straight. It's a very weird phenomenon. So hit this here. And you have to manipulate the boss going back and forth in order for him to turn around, because if you follow the boss, he just won't turn around at all whatsoever. Like he's doing here. Sir. Bonk him. Alright, and we beat the boss. And now, we'll be unlocking the next best character, which is Coco. And I have Coco I'm adding to my cereal. So, Tony, he's fast, he's great and whatnot. But Coco, he's very special here. So here, he can do verticals, lots and lots of verticals. He just jumps through all the floors. He can climb all these vines, but he also has one extra ability. So if you eat your Cocoa Krispies, you can just phase through floors, and boom, you get to the level. You're correct. I was trying to find Cocoa Krispies here in the United States. All it has Cocoa Krispies that has the snap power plop. Also, another thing, floors just don't exist. The only thing I can figure is that the programming for the vines and the floor are similar, and I guess when it comes to angles, it actually is. It doesn't like it's sync up with the code. So if you start using actual angles, you just phase through them. And we'll be using that a lot in this run. Here, unfortunately, we have to use our smacks. And this level is semi-important because I need to make sure I keep as much health as possible because there's a skip coming up that I'll need all the health I can get. Yeah, like we try to not use smacks as much as possible because he will just, he's slow, he's just utilitarian. No, I appreciate it. Here. So another unintentional skip. Turns out I'll turn the floors, these little drawbridges, you can also just phase through. And I'm not sure if that was even intentional or not. There's some damage, that's unfortunate. Alright, let me see if I can get this skip here. It's a bit of a tight, and I lost it. Oh well. There's a skip where if I jump on the flying enemy, I go straight to the end, but sometimes it doesn't line up properly. Get to the end here. All right. So now here is going to be the hardest level in the game, at least speedrunning. It requires a lot of damage boosting and some weird sequence breaks, but we're going to try. So first thing I'm going to do is, water is supposed to damage you if you're on the characters, unless you just walk into it. If you jump into it, you take damage. But you can just walk into it in this instance. Here, careful, not full health, I should be fine. So I'm going to go to this door that you're not supposed to, as any other character than the frog. So here, I just take intentional damage boost just going through that particular floor. And now I'm going to grab this key. If I can get through here. So yeah, I'm grabbing some keys out of sequence in order for me to get past certain areas. Alright, let's see. Do that. Damage boost here. Alright. Thankfully, a lot of these cycles happen only whenever the enemy's on screen, so they're a little easier to get by. So here. Okay, I almost ate that one. And playing this level without the strat is going to be very, very long. And boom, we're into the level. Our cereal's getting soggy. Unfortunately, this level is pretty tame. You just have to go to one part of the level and go to the other. You're having a key. Here, put this item. And I try to avoid getting as many of these boot pieces as possible because then the game starts racking up points, and breaking up points is slow. Sir. Now, this level does have a lot of places where I can actually phase through the floor. Unfortunately, I've never found any way to manipulate it because once you phase through the floor, you really don't get a lot of horizontal movement. So what I just do is just normally. Although I can do this, I can just enter the door above the door. This level is a little weird because we have to use smacks for just a second. Because there's a place I can't actually go through for some odd reason. It's like a chest high hole you can't crawl under. It's weird. Alright, we're here. Again, I'm using my arrow keys because controlling on here is a little jank. And one thing I'm trying to do is jump over these angles in the floor because it'll stop you just a second before it allows you to go through again. now we're gonna go to another interesting skip here. Normally you can't jump through these floors, although floors are kind of a abstract at this point. But this one, look at here. You just jump right through. And then you can go here and do a totally intentional drop down. As you see as he's dodging around here. This part's a little weird. You're supposed to get this item, have invincibility, and go through all these guys. But before you get right to the end, you bounce on them and you lose enough invincibility where you won't be able to do this without being damaged. And in this level. Alright, now we're on to the last level of this world. And we're actually going to make a change. We're going to go back to Tony. Because this level isn't a level for vertical climbing, it's a star run level. You just grab the invincibility, and you just run all the way through, and grab next invincibility, keep running. Interesting design here. So here, and boom, in the level. Strangely enough, we'll be seeing a lot of this towards the end of the game. And now we get to go to our second boss, which is a snake. A big snake. There is a pattern you can do this for a quick kill, but it takes a while to do. So here we're going to chop his head. 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, and 2. Nope. 1 and 2. 0, 1, 2. So your gun's invincible after like 2 seconds, so you can time it so you can kill him pretty quick. And there we go. Snake dead. Yes, I thought exactly that thing. It's Battletoads. And now we can add our final character to the realm. We got what is his name? I'm going to put the blank. Sam. Everyone say hi, Sam, and say bye, Sam. So now we're going to change back to here because we're going to do a pretty big skip here. We drop down here, and we skip basically 80% of the level. I don't know what this means. I think it just means German for time loops. Alright. Here, grab this key. Alright, now we're gonna go to Smacks. Yeah, the bear is here only just for reminder text, and it's not really, he's not useful at all whatsoever. Choco, I believe his name is. At least according to his bib. I mean, I'm assuming babies have their names on their bibs at all times, so you know exactly who they are. I'm assuming. I don't have any kids myself. All right, in the level. Those tree covers are good. All right. So usually when you unlock a character, they want to exemplify the actual character's strengths. Turns out we're barely going to use him at all. We're actually going to switch to Tony for the majority of his levels. Because, again, this is a star run level. So you just grab the, I'm sure it's Milk or Colt 45. I'm not sure which one it is. But you go through, you grab the items, just keep running. Here, miss the jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab this key. Did not want to do that. Alright, and we're going this way. And here we're gonna just try to dodge a bunch of enemies. And crap. Go to the end of the level. And boom. Yeah, that level is just huge. I tried looking at all the doors and all the different places you can get. It is a monster to do any kind of collect-a-thons on this. And now we're back with Tony, and we're going to just grab a key, blast our way through it, and get to the end. All right, here. Jump, jump, jump. And then we're at the level. Yeah, these levels are very, very short if you're not going for the collect-a-thon. Oh, those flavor mixtures are interesting. Yes, Factor 5 did do the Road Squadron and also did Pokemon Stadium games. So having this to be the first four-way was kind of interesting. So once again, we're just gonna break through the floor again. Way down. And here, I'm going to try to damage boost all the way through. And here there's a slight angle, and I can just pop right through. And grab a toucan. I had thought about doing another category for this game. Instead of doing all collectibles, like 100%, it would be like collect all the vitamins, because there's only 6 per level, so it makes the speedrun a little more interesting to watch, instead of just running straight to the end of the level like the developers totally want you to do. So here, we're just going to grab a key and go right back up. Yeah, this one requires you to use a couple more characters than just one. So I go here, grab the frog again. And hopefully this will be the last time we will ever see Smacks after this level. I've tried different methods of trying to damage boost through any of these levels. I couldn't figure out a proper way of doing it in order to go anything like down vertical. Last section. And we are... Alright, end of the level. Correct. The doorknob matches the key that you use, and any color, the color key can use any of the colored doors, so not blocked anything. And that becomes helpful whenever you're supposed to be using for one door, you use it for another. So here is a very vertical stage. And we're going to get to a certain spot. Step down. Also, there's one thing about this level. The developers forgot to do something. They forgot to edge on the left side. Like this, just you can straight just phase through it and go vertically as much as you want it. So here, hopefully not die. Toucan's ability is a little weird. I know that he does the flight and kind of slowly gets shorter flaps. If you take a hit on an enemy, it doesn't reset. If you bonk your head on anything on the ceiling, it resets, you fall straight to the ground. North, we use these platforms a little faster than flying. And now we are close to the end here. And we are at the... Alright, end of the level. Alright, I believe we're at the last level here. Alright. You know what's the level? You're supposed to be using all your characters to go through each part using their special abilities and whatnot. But here, we're not even use Smacks. Like Smacks is now dead to us. We're never going to touch him again. Because here you're supposed to be using Smacks in order to grab a key that's at the bottom of this lake, or we can just completely ignore that and just go to the floor. And then we're gonna go to this change to us. Yes, you can quote me on that. Smacks is dead to us. ThorOfKenya, Michael Scott, 2025. 21st of December. I do remember. Now here, I could have changed to Tony and gone a little bit faster, but it turns out when you go inside the door, the transition period and whatnot, it takes way too long to do. So I'm just gonna use... I believe we're using Toucan Sam for the rest of the run now. Just gonna zigzag. I could use Tony to damage move through some of the stuff, but again, it seems like the transition time took way too long. Fun fact, this game, the reason I chose it is as I was looking up some different games, I saw Factor 5. This game was actually ran, I believe it was 5 years ago in Kuso Checking Notes 4. So this actually was featured in a Kuso before, so we're just doing a revisit of it. All right, just tell me, I need 3 doors. What's the 3 doors going to be? The door's going to be the right, center, and it's going to be left. Yes, this game has a pick a door on a timer, and the paths can get absolutely ludicrous. All right, so over here, grab the key. But this last section is pretty mean. So first, it's all invisible blocks, and you have to figure out this maze. And if you don't know the path, it's absolutely ridiculous. Also, I want to show this off. So you're supposed to be like, you're trying to travel down. You grab all these platforms, they keep bouncing you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, they expect kids to do that. And now we're at the level. All right. Here we are. Final level, final boss, and we're fighting a dragon. The dragon's gonna have two attacks. One's gonna be a sweeping, and one's gonna be a fire breathing. We want fire breathing, as you see there. And I think we need either 7 or 8 bombs. Can't remember. So I believe there is a way to manipulate this boss, but I've tried multiple ways of doing it, and it's just inconclusive if it does it or not. Diving, can you please just use fire? And time. If my thing will click. Awesome. Now, I believe it says on the screen, we actually have one more category. That was all levels. Now we're going to do an 80% version of it. Alright, so now we're going to do the 80% version. And to do this, we're going to start in the tutorial. So 3, 2, 1, go. Apparently my clicker has died. So this is the tutorial. It's meant to show you like what items are, what keys are, that kind of thing. And what that is. Then we're going to switch over to Smacks, and they don't even teach you how to use Coco or Toucan, which is a little odd. Here, just go to the far end. It just teaches you very basic gamer stuff as far as moving platforms, dissipating platforms, that kind of thing. All right, now we're to the far left. W, everyone. Now we're gonna get here. Line it up correctly. We're also at the stage now. We just click to the floor. Now, where does this go exactly? Well, I'll show you. To the far, far right, if I can get underneath there. This is the developer room. They just put it there to easily get in and test the games, and yeah, it's just right there. So now we're just gonna go straight to the end of the level. And then I'll give you a guess where this final door on the final floor goes to. The dragon. I believe that the world record for this game, I gotta change characters. Little funny there. Yeah, apparently if you hold B and then jump at the right moment, you can actually control your character for half a second. So now just second burst, same as the burst for killing the dragon. Yeah, the speed run can be less than, I think it's like 2 minutes or a little above. I can't remember what it is right now. Dragon. Time soon. Okay, decent pattern. And time. Cool. All right. So that was Tony the Tiger in Kellogg's Land and all of his friends. Hope you have enjoyed your cereal along with me. All right, this is game number 2, and now we're gonna move here to game number 3 in just a moment.